Heyo friendos, today we're going to be looking at the M50 paired with the M2 gimbal by Zhiyun Tech and how I think it's actually going to be the ultimate gimbal vlogging rig. So if you're going to be vlogging on the M50, you're going to be using these two lenses probably, the 11 to 22 millimeter lens and the 22 millimeter lens. Now the 22 millimeter prime is really great for at night or low light conditions because it's a much faster lens, and the 11 to 22 is much wider, so you're able to get a larger field of view and see more in the image while you're walking around without having to hold your arm out as far. So if you're going to be vlogging, these are probably the two lenses you're going to be using, and you're going to be using a microphone. So we're going to use this really small Zhiyun 008 microphone with this, and I'm going to show you how it works on the gimbal. I'm going to show you an example of how it works like vlogging, walking around with these two lenses, and how you can actually connect the gimbal to the M50 using its Wi-Fi connection and be able to start and stop recording, which I think is a key feature for vlogging from the gimbal itself. So let's go ahead and set it up. I'm going to throw the microphone on here. I'm going to take my lens cap off. I usually like to set this lens to about a 12 millimeter. 11's just like a little wide for me. I'm going to get this balanced and I'll see you in a second. Okay, so I've got the 11 to 22 millimeter, the microphone, and the screen flipped out here, as you can see, because that's how you're going to want it if you're vlogging. So all of the features work really well. The pan follow, if I hold the trigger, it turns it to follow. As you can see, I'm just fine when I move around. For vlogging mode, you just triple tap the trigger, it's gonna flip around, and now I'm in vlogging mode. The only feature that doesn't work when you're on the M50 with the 11 to 22 is the Vortex mode, and that's because the eyepiece is just a little bit too big for it to be able to get in that vertical format. But if you're gonna be vlogging, which is what you're probably gonna be doing with the 11 to 22 millimeter lens anyways, you're never gonna do Vortex mode because that just doesn't make any sense. So I'm going to walk around and show you guys an example of how this actually looks, and then we're going to do the same thing with the 22 millimeter in the same exact setup, just flipping out the lens, rebalancing it, and I'll show you what both of those look like in a vlogging situation. Alright, so here we are, we're in vlog mode. I've got the Zhiyun microphone on there. I just put the camera in auto settings just for today since I don't have an ND filter. That way my exposure is going to be taken care of by the camera. And we're just gonna kind of walk around. I got a whole different bunch of areas I'm gonna walk. I'm gonna try up and down stairs so you can see the balance here of how this looks. But so it's a pretty wide field of view, as you can see, but one bummer is when the microphone's right here on the side, it actually blocks a lot of the screen. It helps to make you not look at the screen as much though, which is always difficult when you're vlogging. But other than that, it's a pretty good setup. So if you could put this microphone on top, that would be pretty cool. I think if you go to one of the Rode mics, it might be too heavy. I don't know, you'd have to check the weights, but this mic is so light that it's a really good setup. And then if I take off this bottom part, this tripod, I mean, it's almost looks like I'm just carrying like the camera itself, like on a selfie stick. So if I'm walking in around an area where I don't want to draw as much attention, this would be a really good way to lower the amount of attention. If I do a triple click, we're gonna spin it, let the camera spin around. So you're gonna see we're gonna go down these stairs right here. So here we go, let's go down the stairs. And let's flip back to vlog mode while we're doing that. I'll set this back up. And I can use the joystick to adjust it a little bit here. So if I need to adjust the picture a little bit, raise it up, I can just flip it up a little bit with the joystick and I'm good to go. This thing is epic. This is why I think it's the ultimate gimbal for vlogging. If you want to up your quality, if you want to get your stability right, throw it on this guy. The 11 to 22 is killer. My arm doesn't have to be that far from my body, which is nice, so I'm not going to get as much fatigue. Right now, most of the weight is just coming from the camera itself. The gimbal is crazy light compared to my other gimbal. Now we're going to switch over to the 22 millimeter lens and see how that one looks. Okay, here we go. So now we're on the 22 millimeter. This is just on auto, like I said, no ND filter, so dealing with kind of the bright Southern California sun. I have my arm as far away right now from my body as it can go. I'll even hold the bottom of the tripod to show you. This is pretty much as far away as I could be. This is not super comfortable on the 22, so you probably here would be pretty comfortable. So you can tell me, is this the shot you want? Do you want to have this much of your face zoomed in, on it, or do you want to be a little bit wider? I'd go with the 11 to 22. But the 22 is only like 100 and something bucks. It's a really affordable lens and it's super sharp. It's fast, it's great for night. So if you're doing some night vlogging, you might want to be using this one anyway. So options, right? 11 to 22 or 22. And you can even throw that 18 to 150 on there if you want a zoom lens and get really out there far. You're just a little bit more limited on how you can move the gimbal around. The one feature that you can do on this lens that you can't do on the 11 to 22 is Vortex mode. So I'm gonna do that for you now. All you have to do is triple tap the trigger. That'll flip the camera back around. We then double tap the menu button. That'll put it in go mode. And then double tap it again and it puts it into Vortex. Lower the camera down to whatever height you want. You're gonna hold left or right to rotate the camera as you walk. And this is Vortex. So much Vortex. So that is the 11 to 22 millimeter and the 22 millimeter lens, which you're seeing right now in vlog mode on the Zhiyun M2 gimbal. I do think this is the ultimate setup if you want a stabilized M50. For a gimbal, I mean, this thing is as small as I could imagine them getting. I don't understand how you could get any smaller than this. So stay tuned if you want to see how to connect the M50 to the gimbal itself, so you can do that start, stop, and record. I'm going to include that right after this. But if you liked this video, please like and subscribe. I'd love for you to, join the community. Let me know what questions you have, and I'll try to answer them down in the comments below. And hit the bell for notifications so you get our latest videos.